What's up, guys? Welcome back to Steve's RC. Today we have an amazing announcement from the guys at the Spektrum team. Okay, from the team that I currently work on. I'm here at work. It's the end of the day. I wanted to do a quick video for you, for my channel, for my followers that talk about the differences between the NX8, the NX8 Plus, the NX7E, and the NX7E Plus. We can talk about the expansion firmware update in this video as well, so I'll put the title as that. I also have an iX20 here in case we need to talk about that. I'm totally going off the cuff here, but I do plan on covering the reasons why you would buy one or the other. I plan on covering all of the new changes that Spektrum has implemented with today's patch or today's update, and kind of get through all of the expansion firmware. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the NX radios that were announced, and then we'll talk about, for those of you that are existing users, how this impacts you, because it impacts you in a very positive way. So without further ado, let's jump right in. So I have NX7E Plus, NX8 Plus. These are two new radios, in theory, that were announced today, July 18th. These are not a whole lot different than your existing NX8 and NX7E. In fact, in my hands, the only difference is this bezel on both of these radios and the firmware inside. So there's really no physical changes. There's no benefit if you already have an NX8 to go out and buy or sell that one and go and buy this one. You're only going to get really a bezel change. Now, why would I say that to you? The fact of the matter is, I don't want you to go out and buy a new radio. I want you to go out and use Spektrum, and use Spektrum to its fullest degree. So this is a 20-channel radio now. Your NX8 is a 20-channel radio now. You just have to update it. This is a 14-channel radio now. Yours is a 14-channel radio. This is just coming with it installed. So when these come to market, Spektrum phased out the existing units and then now have brought these back so that they come out of the box with the 14-channel. The only difference there, like I said, is it's done for you out of the box. You can update your radio. It's great. It works perfectly. So any of our retail partners that have these in stock, you can still sell them. The customer can update them. It's all easy to do. They're just slightly different names. Now, why the Plus name? Why didn't you call it a NX20? Well, we have an NX20. Why didn't you call it like an NX Pro? That's confusing too, or maybe not as clear. But 8 kind of stands for it was suitable for 8 hardware eight channels with a hardware perspective. However, there are more than 8 inputs, right? So 7E, one of the questions I get was, well, how do I get 14 channels? You only have a couple switches. How could it possibly do 14 channels? What you have to realize is each one of these inputs can also control more than one channel, right? So my aileron, if I have 2 ailerons, I have let's say a larger plane. Let's just use my big FX3 Cub from Hangar 9. It has an aileron servo per aileron. Those are 2 separate servos that are plugging into 2 separate channels on the radio. So when I move my aileron stick, I fire 2 channels at once, right? So that's 2. Same thing with my elevator. I have an elevator servo for one half and an elevator servo for the other half of the elevator. So when I pull down on the stick and my elevator goes up, it's driving 2 servos, another channel here and another channel here. So that's 4 now. And so we continually go up and up and up as we add mixes and we do advanced wing types. We have flaps now. We start adding channels really quickly. You don't need to have a separate input for every single channel. If I hit the flap switch, I'm maybe driving two receivers on my, or 2 servos. On my Stuka, I drive 4 channels just for flaps, because it has split flaps. It has the tiny little baby flap and the main flap, right? So, and each of those servos is on a separate channel. That's 4 servos right there. Plus 2 ailerons, plus 2 flaps. I'm at 8 just in the wing. Just in the wing, guys. So that's how quickly you can get up to channels. And then on that airplane, that's 8, 9, 10 for the elevator, 11 for the rudder. I haven't even talked about choke and throttle yet, so that's 12, 13. Siren is 14. And if I have mixes and other things, it keeps going up. So you quickly run out of channels quick, and that's why this update is so crucial for you guys with this radio, is you can now run a 14-channel receiver. You can get a power-safe 14-channel receiver and run this economy radio. That's massive. That's huge value. So kudos to the Spektrum team. We're really excited to bring this to market, and I hope you guys get the value of it too. So why would I buy an NX7E versus an NX8? Well, okay, let's talk about case. Case design, this is a plastic case. It's got cool lighting in it, sure. Plastic grips. This has rubber grips, okay? So minor differences. We're talking like the difference between getting a car with vinyl flooring versus carpet at that point, right? Or a car with leather seats versus cloth seats, right? It's just trim level stuff. So we're talking grips are rubber. This radio right here has a micro USB for charging, which I recommend getting the magnet for that. We can talk about that later. But then it's got a serial port in the back for using external modules like the TBS Crossfire. This is non-powered, so keep that in mind. This is a non-powered serial port, meaning if you do want to run a TBS Crossfire or something, you have to power it with an external battery out here. The NX10 is powered up to a certain point. But anyway, this has a headphone jack. This does not. So no headphone jack, headphone jack. If you want those call outs in your ear, you can use that for this. This has voice. So this can tell you flaps up, flaps down, battery low, hold, frames. It'll say things, right? You can do custom stuff in there. This radio has voice. This radio does not. That's a big difference. They both have standard style gimbals, right? They're not Hall effect gimbals. As you go up to the 10, the NX10, you get Hall effect gimbals. The SE is aluminum gimbals. As we go to the 14, the 20, those are all Hall effect gimbals. Hall effect versus non-Hall effect means that it's a magnetic style sensor that senses the position of your sticks versus a potentiometer, which is a physical, mechanical swiping mechanism that basically tells the radio where the stick is. That can wear out over time. The magnetic generally will not. So there's a difference there. Foldable antenna on both, so that's fine. Wireless buddy boxing. This radio has a receiver inside to be the master radio for wireless buddy boxing. This radio would require you to update it or upgrade it with an external satellite receiver to run a wireless buddy box. So if you're gonna buy this and you're gonna be someone who's training people, skip it, go to the NX8. You're gonna want that. Now you can put a receiver on it and you can run it, but it's another, let's say 30, 40 bucks to update this or upgrade this with that receiver, and then you have an external receiver back here. Just get the NX8 if you're gonna go that route. But you can still use this to bind to this radio, for example, and you can still fly buddy box with it. So this combo actually works really well. Screen size. This screen on the NX7 is 2.7 inches, right? And the NX8 and the NX10 are 3.2 inches. Minor, but there is a difference, right? So there's a screen difference there. This does have this has USB-C, micro USB. This is more of a generational thing, right? This was newer in the production cycle, so it has USB-C. I'm sure this will eventually have USB-C, but for now it has micro USB. Excuse me. The NX7E Plus has two position switches, 6 3-position switches. So that's these 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, like a flap switch, right? So 2 position is like these big guys back here. 3 positions, so two positions, 6 3 positions, 1 momentary button, 1 rotary knob, okay? That's your inputs. No sliders, nothing back here, no trimmers up top, none of that. You just have your main flight control surface trimmers, okay? The NX8 and the I'll go with NX8 first. 2 2-position switches, same. 6 3-position switches, same. 1 momentary, same. 1 rotary knob, same. And this is the new part, 2 trimmers. The trimmers up here. They're right here. What do you use those for? I don't know. I use them for nose wheel trim. I use them for gain adjustments sometimes. If I want to do if I'm adjusting a gain, I can put it on there and click it up until I get the gyro gain right, just on that surface, whatever. But you do have that. You have your normal main trimmers as well. Now the NX10, all of those same things, plus 2 sliders. So you'll have sliders back here. Again, we go up to the IX14 and IX20, we've got sliders as well, right? So I won't go all the way up the line and talk about more and more that stuff, but I will say this radio, the NX8 and the NX7E, both have 2200 milliamp batteries. The NX10 goes up to that 6,000. The IX14 and everything has that 10,000, which is, by the way, the same battery that's in the IXSR, which is right here. So anyway, you start getting up larger batteries, better on time, that sort of thing. Again, these both have serial ports, not powered, not powered. We go up to the NX10, it is a powered serial port. But again, if you're gonna run 1 watt out on like a TBS Crossfire, you're gonna need to put a 3S pack on it. I think you can do up to like 500 watts on that, just for the record. And I've only played with that a little bit, but I'm pretty sure I'm right there. Both have color screens. Like I said, the screens are a different size. And so that's up to you if you wanna do that. So also another thing, Wi-Fi updates. So you can go in here and do your Spektrum account and just update from the radio. There's no longer going and taking SD card, going to your computer, logging into the Spektrum site, coming back, plugging it in. That's taken care of there. However, doesn't have it. NX7E doesn't have Wi-Fi, and to me, that's a pretty big reason to upgrade to the NX8 and spend the extra money. That's a nice feature, but it just doesn't have it. Again, it's a budget radio. There's things that aren't in here. That's how you get the cost down of any product, right? You take out features. So this is no Wi-Fi. So if you want to update it, you do have to update it through the SD port, right, just down here. And then that receiver that I mentioned earlier, guys, it's a Spektrum 9747 remote receiver, and that gives you the wireless buddy boxing capability. So that's everything you need to know on those two radios, frankly, and why you would choose one over the other. So now I'm going to transition to quickly, I know this video is going long, to the expansion firmware update, which impacts every Spektrum user for the most part. So let's first start to talk about the Air receivers. AR630, 631, 637TA, 637T, 8360T, and 10360T all received an update today. That update will give them access to, well, smart transmitter files ultimately, but mainly AS3X Plus forward programming. The smart transmitter file stuff is something you probably shouldn't worry about too much. I'll talk about that in a minute, but it's a huge update, really cool feature benefit for Spektrum users as we go forward in the timeline. On the Air side, again, NX7, NX6, NX8, NX10, NX10SE, NX20, IX14, IX20, IX20 SE all received an update today. All of the radios, so NX6 and NX7 received a 14-channel update. NX8, 10 received a 20-channel update. IX14 received a 20-channel update. And then the NX20s and the IX20s all received some feature benefit updates. Obviously, they're not giving you more channels on those radios, but you already have the max channels there. So AS3X Plus flight stabilization is the same stabilization algorithm featured in our brand new Spektrum Synapse, which is really a giant scale high-end gyro system. You can now use that in all of your AS3X receivers. I will put a link in the description of a video that we produced from David Payne, with David Payne in studio, talking about how to update that and how to access it. There'll be more coming on that, but if you want to go play with AS3X Plus today, you can update your receiver, you can update your radio, but you have to go in and turn it on. You don't just get it. So you have to turn it on and program it. It's not hard. It's super easy to do, guys. I can set up any model on AS3X Plus without a problem in like five or 8 clicks. It's like 3 minutes or less. So it's really easy to do, and it's incredible. You're going to get that extra sensor data accuracy and data rate. You're going to get stop lock release rate. You're going to get all the features that we have in the Synapse system in your Foamy, in your lower end E-flite airplane. So super cool, amazing. This is a generational difference in technology, in algorithm. It makes the airplane fly so much better, guys. Trust me when I tell you, when you try it, you're going to be blown away. And it's really easy to tune, and most of the time you can turn the dial halfway up and send it, and it's dialed, and then you can keep playing with it, but it's pretty damn good. In fact, the FX3 Cub that I just won the National Pro-Am Division 1 class with over the weekend, 100% gyro gain, full send, no other tuning needed. Amazing. So I'm not kidding when I say it's that good. Okay, smart transmitter files, guys. This one is important because it's a future thing, right? So if you know today, you buy a brand new buy and fly airplane, and let's say it's a Viper 90, right? And you go on your radio and you go into buy and fly templates and you select import and you go to the Viper 90 and you import it. You got the Viper 90 program, great. If you have an airplane that we haven't put in the radio yet, for example, maybe it's an older model that we never put it in the radio. You have to build the model file for yourself. So usually it's pretty easy. But again, you have to do it. This kind of comes down to just convenience, and I'll call it laziness, right? Where I don't want to have to program it. We have this technology, let's use it. So Smart Transmitter Files is now putting the transmitter file in the receiver in the aircraft, so that when you get a new aircraft, let's say we inevitably produce a new Timber. Just kidding. Let's say you have a brand new airplane, and inside the receiver has this file, and the receiver can shoot it over to the radio and go, "Here you go, radio. This is what you need to fly me." It'll now tell the radio to set it up for my Timber, my RJ Gritter, Decathlon, my whatever. It'll come from the receiver rather from the radio down into the radio. It's really cool technology, really exciting stuff. It'll have all the setup that we do here at Horizon, and it will come out of the box that way. So when you get a brand new Binafly in the future, we're talking, a few months out now, when you start seeing new Binafly models, you're going to get that feature. So that access is cool. And then eventually we'll have the ability to, we're going to be working on setting up all of our models with AS3X Plus. So you can just download that file and put it in the receiver and then pull it to your radio. But anyway, that's coming. So that's the update, guys, in a nutshell. I know I can talk about a little bit about what the iX14 and iX20 users are getting out of this package. You guys are getting, obviously, smart transmitter file support. You're getting different millisecond servo mode, which is kind of more of an automatic thing. You can delete multiple models at once. You get a new redesigned telemetry menu. You get some other updated features and benefits that have been added, but not a huge update for you iX14 and iX20 guys, except you iX14 guys, you're not getting 20 channels, so that's a big update. You iX20 and NX20 guys, just some minor improvements. I would call them creature comfort type things, and you can find that on the link in the description, which talks about all of that update today. But yeah, all you NX guys, this is a huge day for you. This is a huge day for Spektrum. I'm really excited about it. If you have any questions, please put it down in the comments. I want to make sure that I answer that myself. If I can't answer it, I can walk 20 steps to this direction and get with the Spektrum development team, usually during the work week, or I can Teams chat any of them and get an answer. So if you have a serious question, please ask it. Let's be polite in the comments. Love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks so much, and have a great weekend, and keep them flying. See ya.